What if I told you that the United States might hold a secret, powerful role in God's prophetic timeline? Yes, you heard that right. Even though the Bible doesn't explicitly mention America, could it be possible that this nation is destined for something greater in God's plan? Let's dive deep into the biblical context and discover why many believe that America has a significant part to play in the spiritual battles that lie ahead. Stay with me. What you're about to learn might just change how you see America's place in the world. And here's something even more intriguing. How does a nation, founded only a few hundred years ago, rise to such a powerful spiritual influence? And could it be that America's story is not just a political one, but a spiritual one? 1. America, the global hub for Christian evangelism. Let's start with one undeniable fact. America is the global center of Christian evangelism. For centuries, the U.S. has been sending missionaries across the globe, Africa, Asia, Latin America, you name it. With thousands of mission trips, Christian schools, hospitals, and churches set up worldwide, it's no wonder people believe that America is a spiritual powerhouse. But here's the real kicker. American missionary work isn't just about preaching. It's about bringing transformation to entire communities. Think about it. Schools that educate, hospitals that heal, and churches that build lasting communities. In the 19th and 20th centuries, American missionaries played crucial roles in shaping the modern Christian landscape in countries like China, Korea, and parts of Africa. And today, that tradition continues. American organizations like Samaritan's Purse, World Vision, and many others are actively working in some of the world's most remote and challenging environments. And here's something incredible: modern technology, from satellite broadcasts to online ministries, has expanded the reach of American evangelism even further, allowing people in every corner of the world to hear the gospel. But do you know the biblical roots of this kind of mission work? In Matthew 28 verse 19, Jesus commands his followers to go and make disciples of all nations. Could it be that America has taken this command seriously on a scale like no other nation? With the U.S. leading global missionary efforts, it's hard to ignore how deeply this command resonates with the nation's identity. 2. Prophecies unfolding before our eyes? Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Some scholars suggest that America could be tied to biblical prophecies, especially those concerning the end times. The book of Revelation speaks of powerful nations playing pivotal roles in the final days. Could the U.S. be one of these key players? Think about it. The United States stands at the forefront of the cultural and moral debates shaking the world today. Issues like religious freedom, the sanctity of life, and the redefinition of marriage. These debates aren't just political, they're spiritual, shaping the future of nations and people. Could these struggles be part of the larger spiritual battle foretold in 2 Timothy 3 verses 1 to 5? Are we watching prophecy unfold right now? In 2 Timothy, the Apostle Paul gives us a chilling description of what the last days will look like. He talks about people becoming lovers of themselves, lovers of money, and how society will descend into moral chaos. When you look at the cultural shifts happening in the U.S., do you see any parallels? And here's a mind-blowing thought. What if America's current challenges, its political divisions, its moral struggles, are part of a prophetic narrative? Could these very struggles be what positions America for a greater role in the spiritual conflicts that lie ahead? Drop your thoughts in the comments. 3. The U.S.-Israel connection, blessed or cursed? Genesis 12 verse 3 says, "I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you I will curse." This verse, part of God's covenant with Abraham, is something many Christians take very seriously. Since the birth of Israel in 1948, the United States has been Israel's strongest ally, providing financial, military, and diplomatic support. Let's break it down. The modern relationship between the U.S. and Israel is unique, not just politically but spiritually. Many evangelicals see this partnership as a fulfillment of biblical prophecy. For decades, U.S. presidents have stood by Israel, defending its right to exist and thrive. But why is this so significant? Because according to the Bible, God promises to bless those who bless Israel. Could it be that America's prosperity and global power are connected to this divine promise? And consider this, when President Truman recognized Israel in 1948, the U.S. was the first nation to do so. This decision wasn't just a political move, it was seen by many as a fulfillment of God's plan. Fast forward to today, the U.S. continues to support Israel in ways that few other nations do. But here's a question for you. Could the future of the U.S. be directly tied to how it treats Israel? Some believe that as long as America stands with Israel, it will be blessed. But if that relationship changes, could America find itself in spiritual trouble? 4. Religious freedom, America's global legacy. Here's a fact not many people consider. America's Constitution was the first to enshrine religious freedom. This principle allowed Christianity, along with other faiths, to thrive like nowhere else. But it doesn't stop there. America's model of religious freedom has inspired movements worldwide, helping countless nations adopt similar protections. Religious freedom isn't just an abstract concept. It's foundational to the spread of the gospel. Without it, Christian missionaries couldn't do their work. Without it, churches wouldn't be able to flourish. And America has been at the forefront of promoting this freedom globally. Could this be part of America's biblical mission? In Isaiah 49 verse 6, God says, "I will make you a light to the nations." Some believe that America, with its beacon of freedom, is a modern-day fulfillment of this prophecy. By advocating for religious liberty, the U.S. has become a shining light to many nations, demonstrating the power of freedom in spreading the gospel. But there's a challenge here. What happens if America starts losing its commitment to religious freedom? Could that dim the light it shines for the world? This is a question many Christians are asking today, especially as religious freedoms come under increasing pressure within the U.S. itself. 5. Media power, spreading the gospel everywhere. Think about this. Without the power of modern media, could the gospel have reached as many people as it has today? The United States is the media capital of the world, and American Christian leaders like Billy Graham, Joel Osteen, and Rick Warren have used television, radio, and now the internet to share the message of Jesus with millions. From television networks like TBN to online Christian platforms, American Christian media touches nearly every corner of the globe. What if this media reach is part of America's God-given role in spreading the word? Could these media giants be fulfilling Isaiah 52 verse 7, which says, "How beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news, who proclaim peace." Just imagine this. Every day, millions of people tune in to listen to Christian broadcasts, podcasts, and YouTube channels produced by American creators. This is evangelism on a scale the world has never seen before. Could America's control over global media be part of God's plan to reach every nation, tribe, and tongue with the gospel? 6. End times. Could the U.S. be a key player? Now, let's dive into the deep end. End times prophecy. Many theologians argue that while the U.S. isn't directly mentioned in the Bible, it's impossible to ignore America's global power in the context of the geopolitical conflicts prophesied in books like Daniel and Revelation. Take a look at the rising tensions between the U.S. and other nations, particularly in the Middle East. And what about the moral and cultural battles within the U.S.? Could these events be aligning with the biblical narrative of the last days? In Revelation 16 verse 14, it talks about the kings of the earth being gathered together for the final battle. Some theologians speculate that America could be one of these kings, drawn into the ultimate showdown of good versus evil. But the real question is, are we already seeing the groundwork being laid for these events? If America's role is to be a defender of Christian values in the last days, are we prepared for what's to come? Conclusion. America's divine mission or just another nation? Whether or not you believe America is playing a prophetic role, there's no denying its significance in spreading Christianity, supporting Israel, and promoting religious freedom. Could it be that the United States is more than just a political power? Is it a nation chosen to fulfill a unique divine purpose? I'll leave that for you to decide. Let's continue this conversation in the comments. What do you think America's role in biblical prophecy might be? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss more deep dives like this one.